And good morning and welcome to Sunday. As it turns out, we've got severe weather already starting this morning. There are going to be multiple rounds throughout the day. This is being set at a level 3 today is what we're expecting. Now, we've already got severe thunderstorm warnings that have gone into effect as we go to the northwest of Meridian. Kemper County just went under a severe thunderstorm warning. Also, the Louisville, WINSTON area, and also the northern portion of NESHOBA County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, we've been seeing this right around Louisville. I know power is out, lots of it. Destructive wind has rolled through this morning with that. Power is out. We had a lot of shear winds just a moment ago as this is making its way across WINSTON County. Now, as we pull this up, we've got the severe thunderstorm warning for WINSTON and also NESHOBA County until 6:45. As we look at Kemper County, this is going to be until 7:45. They put an hour on that as we look at this. This is some of the storms that rolled out of WINSTON County into here. Let's start at WINSTON and just look at what we've got covering the county there. The lightning has been horrendous in WINSTON County. Anywhere around Louisville, Highway 14, east, those areas, horrible weather, even around Knox-Pater, just north of the downtown area. Lightning strikes galore as we look at this around Knox-Pater. That was at 6:19. As we get closer to downtown Louisville, as this passed over, this would have been right around 6:28 when they were hitting here. Let's turn on locations where you can see kind of where everything is in the WINSTON County area. As we look at here sits Lake Teocata, in between there, a lot of lightning up 15. But the eastern side, if you'll look at this, right in here is where we've had the most lightning strikes. Now, as we see where WINSTON Academy sits here, just due east of there. And if you were to go just due north of Crystal Ridge Road into the rural route, this is traveling east, and we'll reach Meshulaville within the next 30 minutes. Also reach Triple Corners, if I'm reading that right. I want to make sure I said that right. You got Millcreek and Triple Corners within 20 minutes. Millcreek, you're in target for this within 3 minutes, and that's going to be sitting right there at Millcreek, these areas as it comes on across here. As we see where the Nanawaya pit stop is, we've got a lot of heavy rain right there if you're going to be traveling up 397 toward Louisville, that area there, two-lane road, be careful. And as we look at the Indian Mounds right here, heavy rain there as you'll head toward making your way to 393 through there to Highway 490. Careful is what we highly suggest this morning on any of this. The rain in the Louisville area, especially just east of downtown, out around where the jail is and WINSTON Academy, some of the worst rain that's got. As we go south here in the corner, a lot of rain too. Now, although we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning for NESHOBA County, the western side of this is starting to ease up just a little bit as we see that breaking loose here on 25, as well as even here in Louisville, up to Louisville here on 25, coming across, getting a little bit better. As we come out here to Arlington, a little bit heavier rain if you're going to travel that northwest path out of Philadelphia there past the Coliseum. This should be reaching Burnside Park in the next few moments. Now, the next round that we want to look at is Kemper County, what's going on there. As we get out here, Brother Chris, as y'all get ready for church this morning here at Linville Methodist, I almost said that wrong, didn't I? Look at the rain that y'all have got there. Heavy all around the churchway, almost all the way into downtown Preston. It'll be raining there at the Dollar General where the store is, but cautious in those areas. And Highway 397, after you take this coming out of DeKalb to go to Kemper Lake, here sets Kemper Lake, all along 393, almost into Preston, it is barely where you can see. If you're in DeKalb, if you're at home and have to travel toward DeKalb this morning, I would hold off on that for quite a while. That's going to be a rocky road of what you've got to travel there across Kemper County. Now, this has not made it to Scuba yet. But if you live in the Scuba area, it is coming. DeKalb, starting to see the heavy rain. Again, right on the outskirts. This is going to be coming in. Cypress Mills, there's all types of lightning strikes out there, Eddie, around where y'all are. Cautious in these waterways. Bunch of it now. As we look here at Noxubee County, this rain is starting to move in from the Louisville area. We still got this until 6:45. No warning yet for all our friends that are living here in the Noxubee County area. Mississippi State, just due south of there, Highway 25, Sturgis area, getting a lot of rain there also this morning. As we move down, let's look at Kemper here on the south end, and then we'll go over and look at Newton. Now, here sits the Baptist Church as we come out of Blackwater, the Baptist Church. We put this about 2 miles on up past the subdivision. Let's get in here and look at a few roads of where this is Highway 39 toward DeKalb. Yeah, this is going to pick up right along Chuck Sarles Road is where the severe thunderstorm line is, just to the northeast off of 493, all the way over, taking in Giles and Bennsville and Wahalik and all these areas, including the Chicken Shack, Cowboy Church. Y'all are in this severe thunderstorm warning also. Now, as we see this line just pop up here in eastern Neshoba County, this is going to make its way a beeline toward Preston, Mississippi. Actually, Linville, Preston, those areas. Bogachita, you'll have the storm in 10 minutes. Preston, this will be with you within 26 minutes, and then Linville as well in 26 minutes as it comes across that width of that storm as it makes its way there. As we look at that on that scale of 1 to 10, this is right at a 3. So the severity is not as bad as it could be. Now, as we move down and look at what we've got going on, let's move down and look at Lauderdale County. It just light rain is what we've got in Lauderdale at the moment. As you'll see out here to the east, just to the northeast of Livingston, Alabama, that's fog is what this is. And the severity of this, look at here, Demopolis, Alabama, you can't even hardly see the river. Myrtlewood, those areas, Thomaston, Alabama. As we move back across here and go west of Meridian into Newton County, moderate rain. This is going to be hovering that Highway 15 area in between right here from across from Conahatta to Decatur. That line is moving toward Highway 15. And all the way from Lawrence back down to the Red Goat and Hickory area, a lot of rain there if you're traveling toward Jackson this morning. The intensity is not where it could be, but it is still heavy, heavy rain. Expect for the Mississippi Highway Patrol to have several incidents here. These roads just hold water. As we go south out of Newton County, we'll see that it reaches here to the country corner at Garland. This moves into Jasper County. Rose Hill, y'all are getting very moderate rain this morning. As we go south from there, we do have it all around the lake here, Lake Edens. Look at the rain there, and then over to Paulding at the courthouse. As we move into the west side of Clark County. Now, again, this is not as bad as it could be. It's just heavy, heavy rain is what we've got. This is going to pick up here right around Highway 18 there at the Harmony Methodist Church. As we look at this all the way back to Pachuta, we are seeing showers there at Pine Hill Cemetery. Isn't quite heavy yet in Enterprise, but expect this to move across and even reach the city limits and on out toward Manassas eventually. Right now, the severity of what we're seeing is in the northern portion of Mississippi up in this area here. Now, this is something we're going to be watching out of Hazelhurst. Nasty, very nasty, making its way across this morning. Now, this is not over. As the National Weather Service has told us, as we'll see this, there are multiple rounds of severe weather that is coming today. Expected to be heavy, heavy at times. Let me pull this up, what the National Weather Service is telling us today. We are at a level 3. Let's just look at this, what they've shown to us today. Right there. Which means severe storms are likely. Damaging wind gusts of up to 70 miles an hour. We will have large hail, even up to size of tennis ball. And then a tornado cannot be ruled out. And as you'll look at this, multiple rounds of severe weather today through late tonight. This is going to be one of those days where you think, well, it's over, and then it's not. As you look at the rest of this, we're going to have more flooding today. This is the flooding here, and what they're telling us is up to 3 inches. Now, we all know that there are areas right now that just cannot take any more water. These subdivisions have been flooded. They don't need it, but we could have up to 3 more inches of rain coming. So if you've got anything that you don't want, you know where the areas are, be prepared. As we come across, this isn't changing. Monday and Tuesday, the Meridian area will have this in south through Clark County, Jasper County. Tuesday, Clark County back through Jasper, all the way to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And then we've got all this heat that is going to be joining us as well as the week moves on. It's going to be a wet one. This is almost like we're in April and we're watching showers and things. This is really not June storms that we typically have. We've got them, though, don't we? We certainly do. As we go back to radar to take a look at what we've got going on. Now, as I look at this, we should have roughly 4 minutes remaining on this for Winston County and also Neshoba County. These should be right here, should be expiring soon. Really, the horrible threat of Neshoba has moved on. Is some heavy rains here as we come across. Let's show those. You have north of Burnside Park on that Highway 15, that little stretch in between there at the county line, and Knox-Pay, there's some heavier rain there. And east of Highway 15 a little bit, but the main threat has moved on, as you'll see, into Kemper County. This is coming across, just heavy showers there. This will expire in 4 minutes, and I expect them to cancel this here for Winston County as well. Now, this eastern side, Highway 14 area, still heavy rain there. And if you're going to be traveling on Highway 490 out of Kemper County, lots of rain in 397 in this southeastern corner. As we'll look at the southwest corner here of Knoxville County, this is moving into y'all. We'll be approaching Sugarlock before long as we see this popping up here in Knoxville County. This is going to be headed, if you're working at the hospital downtown Macon, Tim's Grocery, those areas there all along the square, the Texaco back there on Main Street, you're going to get this, and it will reach Macon, Mississippi in 20 minutes. This is where it's sitting now, and we'll reach Highway 45, this area right here, in 20 minutes, and this puts it on this east side as you head toward Mahana Bridge. It's going to be there 30 minutes from now. Be prepared for that. As we glance at some of the comments, this Dakota tells us Crossroads boom area got hit hard with rain and wind. Let's see, Brandy, good morning. Miss Brandy McDonald. Lightning at the Lauderdale-Kemper line there on 493 is where she's at today. Jim, good morning. Lightning in Preston is terrible. Betsy Sue, how are you today? Be careful with all of that. I used to, when we had the corded phones, you couldn't get on one. Those phones, you have to stay away from that. I've always been told also never, ever get in a shower when it's lightning outside. As your mama would tell you, always be safe, and better to be safe than sorry. Louisville, power is out, Dakota Lynn says. There's nothing worse than this, and I think we're going to have multiple rounds. We're going to look here in just a moment at the power outages that we know of. It's a lot of it. Liz Parks, and you're right, this is Father's Day as we start this. If your dad's still with you, make sure to give him a call. If you can, go visit with him. Means a lot to the old boys. Hear from you there. Denise, good morning to you as well. Father's Day just kind of eased up on us, didn't it? It did. Let's turn that off. Now, let's look at power outages in the state, and then we will look at what's going on a little bit local there. No lights in the Preston there on Highway 21. Big Fred, thanks. I appreciate that. Power is out in North Bend community between Philadelphia and Preston. Landon, thank you for that. That's sitting in the dark. All right, let's look at this right here. This is what we've got nationwide. Let me hit a refresh on this, because even within a 3 to 4 minute period, there can be tons of it out. As we come across Texas, 125,000, 116 in Louisiana. So this gives you what is coming to us at this point of how bad this is out to the west. The state of Mississippi already at 67,000 as these storms head towards us. As we look at Louisiana, 116, and Arkansas, a little over 101,000. Tennessee, we do have people that watch from there, 35,000. Florida, that's a different issue. Let's do the breakdown of what we've got going on from EMEPA. And these are those areas. And let's hit refresh again on this also. We could have some more added to this, and it was in the moments that we've been talking. Now, as we go up here, we go west of DeKalb. If you were to go 493 just across the highway there, about 15 folks without power. But when we get into this Boga Chitto area in Preston, look at this. Roughly 900 in this little batch. As we go just to the northwest of there, another 412, then another 149. These storms are very, very serious as we get here to Louisville, Winston County. This is going to be Highway 14 out of there. You could probably put that at, 700 people without power in between all of that. It's closer to 800. Then on the west side here, if you're coming out of downtown Louisville on 25, we got roughly another 450 without power as we look at this. So it is a very strong storm, and as this comes across, do expect it to take more people out of power. Now, of course, they're going to be dispatching folks out of the Louisville area. They're going to be dispatching out of the DeKalb area to work on this, and most likely we'll be pulling people from the Lauderdale County area to head north to help with all of this. Now, without a doubt, the power companies are going to be beyond busy today. If your husband works for any of the power companies. You probably won't see them today on Father's Day. It's really looking like this. The guys are going to have to jump in, these linemen, and work hard to restore power as fast as they can with this. This is one of those days, if you don't have to travel, I don't think I would. Stay home a little while, let these storms pass. Let's go back to radar. This is what we've got, what we're looking at this morning. I was thinking this would hold off a little bit longer, but it is definitely moved on in. As we get into Kemper County, we've got a storm that is sitting on top of Presley Bottom now. As you come up just north of Scuba, as you go past the old MacDade store, and you get to Presley's Bottom before you get to Wahalak, this is going to be moving to the northeast, making its way right across Millington. Be there in 10 minutes. Bennsville. Then on into across that Bama state line over to Geiger, making it to Fair Oaks. All this is going to be happening in that Bennsville area. You'll have this within 14 minutes. Get out here to the United Methodist Church there, right as it comes on across. Now, a lot of lightning in the Cypress Mills area. If you live Preston area, Linville, the thunderstorm warning has moved to the east of there. They've moved this watch box over. Neshoba County, you are out of this, and also Winston County is now out of the severe thunderstorm warning. They've moved this to the county line. Now, the eastern side here, as you look right there at Bethel Baptist Church. Now, it's still heavy rain there. It's going to be about the same from Bethel all the way up to the city limits of Macon. As you get near that Kentucky Fried Chicken and all of this, the McDonald's there, Trail Boss trailers in that area, pretty rough there. Now, right at Sugarlock, we got a storm sitting there. As this will, let me zoom in here where I can see a little bit better. This is going to be at Paulette and Cooksville in 20 minutes, making its way toward the Bama line. Cooksville over in this area right here. This is sitting right on 45, right in between Macon and Sugarlock. Now, that's at the Sugarlock Lumber Company right now coming across. Just north of there, this second storm, making no moves, is headed directly toward Bama. It will be in Dancy, Alabama within 27 minutes. Dinsmore, right there. That should be there in about 21 minutes, and then on in and across that state line. As we move southward into Kemper County, and we'll see that we've got heavy rains. It's what we call it, West Wahalak. West Wahalak getting it bad. The eastern side here, it's coming across the railroad tracks at this point, making its way on toward the old Scuba Road back to Old 45. Downtown Scuba, all at the East Mississippi Junior College area. It's a lot of rain this morning, even by the cemetery. We got a lot of rain there in downtown Scuba there. Cedar Cemetery, Cedar Lawn. Saw that sign all my life. I don't know why I went blank on that. As we look at 39 out of downtown DeKalb, it's going to get heavier and heavier as you go toward Noxubee County. Again, if you're here, wait here. Won't take long. Just sit it out 20, 30 minutes there in your car. Sit there and listen to me, and we'll let this pass so that you'll be safe. Now, this is what we've got remaining on this. This is until 7:45. It's roughly an hour from now. As this has been moving maybe a little bit faster than some of these, it may not remain all the way to 7:45. It's moving toward Geiger, Alabama, as you'll see here at these lines. But again, I want to remind you, we do know that this is not going to be one of these one-only storms. We're going to have all kinds of things. Kim asking about the zero area. As we look south, this round of storms is just going to bring some heavy rain to the Newton, Lauderdale areas in Clark County. Nothing too serious here. It's all going to lie north of us. The biggest thing that we've got going on in Lauderdale County right now, going to be here at the Ralph Morgan Rodeo Arena. I was there yesterday on this northeastern corner. It's passed over Dalewood now, making its way toward Bama. Still there. We're sitting at the back door of the little road there at the Rodeo Arena, and then back this way toward the York Road. Pretty heavy rain there. That's the worst that we've got in Lauderdale County right now. As you go south of I-20, south of Lost Gap down to Stuckey's Bridge, moderate rain is what we've got. Not raining right now over at Wyandotte Motorsports Park, those areas, but you will get this. It's not going to be horrible, but it will rain. As we go due south here of Energy Church into Clark County, some moderate rain there. Nothing bad, nothing too serious, no warnings in these areas as well, even down to Wayne County. As we move back over here to Jones Junior College, not bad. We do want to bring this up over here in the Crystal Springs area. I want you to look at this. We got severe thunderstorm warnings in these areas, but the hail path, I'll be ready for this. This is headed toward Westville, Mississippi. To get there in 25 minutes. Also, let's see here. Let's look at this storm here, where this path is headed to. Shivers, also Bush, Mississippi, 28 minutes. You will have all of these storms that are coming across with hail in it. Now, as we talk about hail, this Georgetown is where this is. Hazelhurst, Wesson, Mississippi. We even got some shear winds starting to pop up. 70-mile-an-hour shear winds here. Beauregard area. Hazelhurst here is going to be crossing I-55. Here's Macomb. It's all due north of there. Still heavy here, and as we show that Mississippi State under a severe thunderstorm warning at this point also takes out Winston County. It's not in it. Mississippi State area will be until 7:45 with Kemper County as well. Columbus Air Force Base, if you're watching in those areas, moderate rain. There is no warning at this point. I don't believe, wait a minute, I said that wrong. I didn't see it. It is also Columbus Air Force Base in this same box here that includes Kemper, portions here of Lowndes, all of this area until 7:45. As we move up into the North Mississippi area, into the Delta, New Albany, Pontotoc getting severe thunderstorm warnings this morning also. But again, we got all of this. Here's Mr. Nasty. We'll name this. Y'all look at this back over here. This will make its way toward Mississippi before long. It's in Arkansas this morning. These areas right here is what you're going to watch at. And we're going to have numerous rounds of this moving through Mississippi today. We'll be here behind the scenes to walk everybody through each one of these storms as it comes about. Now, let's turn this off and look at some hail paths of what we've got with this, if there's really anything happening with that in our area. Let's go here to hail. Turn that on, and we do now. Worse around Vicksburg. I know a lot of you from the Vicksburg area, and you get into that Hazelhurst. Look at that. Now we've had some areas here in Winston County got some hail. It wasn't the big stuff. We even have it around DeKalb a little bit, down to this area south of us, Porterville area, north of Scuba. We've had a little bit there. Checking to see if we've got any messages of any concern. All right, there. Let's, as we see this now, let's back out and look at these damaging winds as we often do. Let's turn the hell off. And I was just reading is what I was doing. Damaging wind. We got a bunch of that going on also, as we'll see here. Noxubee and Kemper has some of the largest portions of what's going on right now. The west side of Lauderdale County, some wind as well, and out I-20 as we get out near the Wyandotte area this morning. But as we really focus on this storm here in Kemper County and Noxubee County, even up to a little bit there south of Starkville, as we look at Columbus Air Force Base, the wind is not near as bad as they are around the Macon area and due south of there. So we've got that damaging wind. We know that's going on this morning also. This is until 7:45, which gives us 50 minutes remaining on this morning. As we go back, good morning, Arlene. You ready to wake up for sunshine for a while? The bad news is there's not going to be any of that happening next week. It is thunderstorms that we've already got severe weather listed for Monday and Tuesday, and it's got it every day listed. Rain showers next week. Pamela, how are you today? As you said, it will get into the meridian areas a little bit later on this morning. Thanks for taking a look at that. Heavier thunder and some lightning still in NESHOBA County, Robin says. And that's right here. Some thunder here. This eastern side around House, southeastern side around House, back into Battlefield, into Lauderdale County. That's where you're going to get your worst of rain. Highway 491 out near Ford Store. just south of there where Mars Hill Methodist Church is, that area, getting a lot of rain. As we look back over Carthage, even to Edinburgh, in between that stretch between Carthage and Edinburgh, it's heavy to moderate rain in those areas. All of this red is what we'll classify as severe. Now, again, all of this is fog. I don't want to confuse anybody of what these colors are here. This is all fog. This is, I can't see. This is, well, I can't see, and this is, I can't see at all. Horrible in those areas there. Myrtlewood, Bolagie, Alabama. That portion there of 20 around the Epps exit is going to have this. Now, we see this now starting to move on this eastern side of Kemper County, so we have to be telling folks in Sumter County, Alabama, to have a heads up as these storms head in your direction. Let's go in and look at this, where this storm is sitting here. It's going to be moving through Giles here in just a moment. We've got two separate storms that are going to come across. David Bryan, y'all be ready. Jimmy, Linda Jane, in this area as it comes across Kemper County here. Now, again, this is thunderstorms. If you put this on that scale of 1 to 10, this is a 2.5. Not as bad as it could be. And we'll come right there as we'll head down toward Gainesville, Alabama, in that direction. Look at this second one here. As we see here, it will reach Geiger within 16 minutes. As we dig or zoom in a little bit closer on this, and of course, as we look here, here's going to be Lover's Lane back in here, right there. Sunflower Road, that area right north of there. Wahalak getting dumped on right now. This is right on Highway 45, back where the old back porch used to be as you get to that Noxubee County line, all there north of there. And again, that's going to pick up right around Presley Bottom all the way to the county line in those areas. A little bit there of old 45 under this heavy rain there. And as you'll look here on the west side where the Nave land was, that little stretch there on the as you get past McDade's in that area. All back east toward Geiger Highway 17, y'all be prepared of what is coming. Now, Lauderdale, still no threat really of any sort at this point. We do have a lot of light rain in the area and areas east of Lauderdale heavy. We get into Kemper County this area. And again, Damascus not under a thunderstorm warning at all at this point. We got showers moving in there toward the volunteer fire department. Even as we get up here to the Cleveland area, right in here, as you get over to 493 there is where it will pick up back toward DeKalb. As you look here at 39 Southern Chevrolet, it's raining really heavy there at Southern. And between there and Scuba, it's going to get worse. And right there as you get to East Mississippi Junior College is where the intensity picks up. This is heavy rain from there all the way to the state line. Giles is under torrential rains at this point as we look at Kemper County. All of the rural route area here to the northeast of East Kemper High School, all of that pouring rain on y'all. And this is going to be into these back roads here as you go past Prime Line Catfish into Geiger. Now, as we go here just east of Porterville, the Chicken Shack, as you get just north of the old Jack Webb store, making its way toward Bama. And as you'll see in Mississippi, it really doesn't touch any cities. There's not any, it's the rural route. This is going to take you right along the state line road toward Bama. Here's Livingston here to be north of there, and this storm will move out of Kemper directly east toward Epps, Alabama. If you live there, here's 17, Kim Waste cutting across. Boyd, Alabama, y'all should expect some showers before long as well. Noxubee County, all of these areas still until 7:45 at this point. No change on that. And we want to remind you that until 10 o'clock, this fired off about 4 hours ago. We had a severe thunderstorm watch issued for the area, and it will last until 10 o'clock. Could this be pushed further? It sure can. We'll see what becomes of that. Let's turn this off. The DeKalb area. As we get here, this is still bad down here around Hazelhurst. We got a lot of fog this morning. Purvis, Hattiesburg, up to Laurel areas. Light rain and fog, no, never good, are they? As you move back up, let's follow the Mississippi River back up. Just to the due west of here's Vicksburg. Not so bad as you get into Louisiana, north of Ruston, those areas, and you get into Arkansas, pushing storms towards us. Now, we look to Tupelo, these areas. We're starting to see severe thunderstorms in that area there. Jim Wade, y'all batten down the hatches up there in Tupelo for me as we see New Albany. Wet, 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 wet. Houston, Mississippi, a little bit there as well. Eupora, getting some pretty good thunderstorms this morning. And then we get back into our area around Stark, Vegas, and Columbus Air Force Base. Back down to Porterville, Mississippi is what we're watching closely this morning. Now let's go back. Let's see what we can find out about power again, what's going on there. Let's do some refreshing here. Then we're also going to pull up 4 County. Look at what's happening up in Noxubee County as well. This has increased now as we'll see this more and more people without power this morning as we see that on the EMEPA side, we've got roughly 3,500 people without power at this point. Now, the guys will get out as quick as they can, the linemen, to get these repaired. And this starts, and again, here's DeKalb. This is going to be out west of 397, but you get up here near Bogota, the Preston area, hardly a soul that has power this morning. We hadn't heard if they're going to be having church in the area this morning or not due to the power outages. That could play a part in that. And Chris, if you're up watching this morning there in Linville, let us know if y'all going to have services or not. We'd like to know that. As we look up, let's see here. Patricia, good morning. Glad you're joining us there. Pam reminds us again about Father's Day. Ann Hall says she's lived a long time. She just doesn't remember all of these different storms like this. It's just every day. Helen reminding us about that power outage there in Preston. Also needing a little bit of water there for those tomato plants. We could have done without the rest, couldn't we, girl? It would have been nice. Let's see here. All right, now let me do this and get over to some other power outlets that we want to look at and see what their outages are this morning. 4 County. Let's look at 4 County. This is going to be up near the Macon area. Let's pull this up real quick where you can see that, and we'll come back and get some of these others. This is 4 County is what we're looking at in the Macon area. Not so bad. As you'll see here in the southwest corner as this came out here, we knocked out power. What is that? Let's call that somewhere around 55, give or take. There's probably something that's happening. And we had a little bit around West Point in the Columbus area. That's not bad. I was expecting a little bit more in there from 4 County. So let's back down and let's cover some other areas. All right, let's go here. Now, this is going to be Central Electric. Let me back out where you can see this a little bit better. And we are showing a good bit of people without power here. As we look at eastern Neshoba County, we got about 1,600 here on this side with Southern Pine, Central Electric, rather, about 1,600 here in the Arlington area. We're looking at 120, depending upon which power outlet you're on. That's a good bit there. We'll show also these areas around the Dixon area, Conahatta, power outages over in Lake, Carthage, 200, Standing Pine, Madden. These are big power outages. Kosciuszko, you're looking at 1,200 or so out there. The Louisville area, that's more of an EMEPA line there, but as we'll see that. Let's check with Mississippi Power here and see what they've got on the Mississippi Power side. Not bad at this point, and again, that mostly picks up in the Lauderdale area, 3 people, so nothing too serious there as we look at the different outages that we've got. And as we go back to the state grid, let's go ahead and refresh this and look and see what else we've got here. Let's see what Mississippi has gone up to. Mississippi at this point at 67,000. That's about where we were earlier. Not any huge differences in that. Let's see here. All right, let's look here and do a refresh. Make sure we got the latest information on radar that is available. Turn that off. Terry, I'm not seeing what you're seeing here. If you'll look here at the map, she said Alexis had told her that Philadelphia was under a severe thunderstorm. It's under a severe thunderstorm. Yeah, thunderstorm watch until 10 a.m. That is true. The warnings are over here. Watches until 10 a.m. All this pink area. Let's do this. Let's turn off radar. As you look at this, basically the entire state. A little bit of area down here around Natchez is not under this severe thunderstorm watch. As you get in down, turn this on where it'll tell me what's happening. As you get into the Baton Rouge area, excessive hail warning for all this. Look at this. These areas here, thank goodness that's not us. Going to be some major hail damage to cars and homes and roofs. Does a lot of that whenever those come about. That gives you a general idea of what we've gotten. It shows you where our thunderstorm warnings are. This area around here, around Macomb, as you come up here, Kemper County northward, where now we're getting Alabama under some warnings, and also up here in the Tupelo area. Now let's go back, turn on our radar, and cover what we've got here in the edge of Alabama. We've got a warning that has just been issued here until 7:45. The National Weather Service in Birmingham issued severe thunderstorm warnings for southern Pickens, Greene, and northwestern Sumter County, Alabama until 7:45. So it's set to expire when the Mississippi side expires as well. And again, we could see this Kemper not quite make it all the way to there. 8 minutes after the hour. Got a little bit still watching that. Linda Jane, good morning. Glad you could wake up and join the rest of us here. You poor are getting a lot of rain. The Meridian side, look here what we've got coming up. A couple storms that have moved over here. And again, we've had this rain moving out of Newton County into Lauderdale County. Picked up intensity downtown Meridian. It's moderate rain is what I would call that. These are not warned areas. It hadn't reached that level. But still the same. Let's look at our locations of what we've got heavy rain as it comes across here. This is going to start right there at Sam's. That's kind of the line. We'll call it roughly there, all the way back over here to Chunky, that little stretch there. In the area there, up 39 past the Coca-Cola plant, up Highway 39 past EMEPA as you get to the red light there at North Hills. That's the worst that we've got on this side. This eastern edge of this past Walmart, due south down to Greg's, the Evangel Temple. That's a lot of it there. Now, as you'll look here at Marion, here sits Lamar. That's Tate's right there. Nothing going on there just yet, but that will happen there. Now, as we move to this east side, right here, why not? From there to the state line, we got some heavy rain. As this is already reached, and we'll move into the Chapel Hill area in 24 minutes. Jakin, Alabama, you'll get this storm in 26 minutes. Lisbon, Alabama, if you're on traveling 10 this morning, these storms are in that area and should reach D's within the next 29 minutes. And Cromwell over here at the Volunteer Fire Department, right there. You'll get that storm within 10 minutes. All right, a little bit of a change as we see, let's look at our watch box here in Kemper County and stare at what we've got there. Heavier rain now, 493 just east of Damascus. Highway 493, though, up to 16. Pretty heavy, intense rain there. We've got a storm leaving. If you were to go directly east of the power plant, in between there and 39, you've got a storm there that's going to be at Kipling within 9 minutes. It should reach the Ingdendale area, that 2 Mile Bottom area, within 28 minutes. Porterville within half an hour, and Sukanachi there as well at 30 minutes, there where the Woodyard used to be at Sukanachi. Still a lot of lightning happening in eastern Kemper County this morning as we look at this. Let's see when our last strikes were. This was popping at, about 6 minutes ago. This was roughly 3 minutes ago, so it's pretty heavy there. Baca Valley, we had some at about 3 minutes after 7. Now, as we get out to the Giles community, this would put it near the Dudleys, right out in there. We had some strikes about 6 minutes ago. We get on down in that Dozer area around 7 o'clock. Over here by Kim Waste, we are showing lightning strikes within the last 2 minutes. So from there around Geiger, Alabama, we've got lightning strikes. We'll put those about 10 minutes ago. Not a time to hold any golf clubs in these areas, let me just tell you. As we look at this coming out of DeKalb, starting to lighten up in DeKalb, and by the time you get to Townsend Road, it will get a little bit worse in between there and Scuba. South of there, by the time you come across the county line of Lauderdale County, and you move into that 2 Mile Bottom area from there as you reach Porterville, heavy rain all the way up to where Weyerhaeuser was. That's going to be our line there. Then back east, just solid, heavy rain as we go here from east of 39. Townsend Road is really where that lineup is of how bad the worst of the worst weather here. Here's the Cowboy Church sitting right on it, just within a mile or so of the church there. We had a strike close. And then now all the way over to Highway 17, we're going to have this. Again, these thunderstorm warnings, 33 minutes remaining on this for Kemper County. Severe thunderstorm watch for the rest of us until 10 a.m. Let's go back down and look at Lauderdale County. This storm that was out here at Wyandotte has moved all the way in toward Cromwell, Lisbon, Alabama area. South of Cuba, Alabama, hadn't quite made it to McElroy. If you're out at the old Simmons Wright store, we got some pretty heavy rain there around the Kewanee area. Now, as we look back west, we do see here in Lawrence, Mississippi, some steady rain there. It follows I-20. You're going to get a break from the Red Goat the rest of the way into Lauderdale County until you get into the Lost Gap area. Meehan is really where it picks up. And that's going to follow you all the way almost to Russell. Russell, you'll have this in a little bit. We're starting to show here in the West Lauderdale area as you get from the Piggly Wiggly all the way up through Battlefield. Get into the 491 area to downtown Philadelphia. It's heavy rain. Again, I'll call that moderate. Now, as we see this storm here, this is intensified a little bit here in Kemper County here at the coal plant. As that's headed toward the Porterville area. I'll be ready for this. Kipling will be there in 10 minutes. That's a lot of rain there, that 493 area. 495, it's heavy rain, but not like y'all got there. And this is fast approaching Blackwater. So if you're going to be headed to church early there, opening up for everything of the Father's Day activities, I'll be careful because it's going to be a wet day for you to get out of the car even. Sheila, how are you doing? Watching us from Quitman, Mississippi. Salute to y'all. Let's look at a bigger picture of what we've got going on. So make sure we don't miss something that happens. This is still developing and getting nasty here. Hazelhurst area, Brookhaven, Taylorsville, y'all be on the lookout. These storms will most likely affect y'all in the next little bit also. As you can see on the big map there, Lisbon, Alabama, right across the state line east of Lauderdale County. A lot of rain there, and this will make its way over toward Pennington and those areas, Butler, Alabama. It's a little north of you, but you're gonna get this moderate rain that's moving out of Clark County towards you. Nothing major in those areas there. Let me see what the radar is texting me on my phone. Let's see here. It tells us lightning in the area of Center Hill. There's lightning within 7 miles of the country store in Lauderdale County. Jones Junior College, you've got a lot of lightning within 12 miles of there. A lot of lightning strikes is what the radar is telling me this morning as we begin this. Okay, we got a message from Brother Chris. He told us that church has power. We will have church for anybody who can make it there in Linville in Kemper County. That's good to know there. So Brother Chris is going to be having it. If you can make it into church this morning, come on. We do realize that others may not have power. But if you can make it to church, downtown Linville, Mississippi, come on in. They're going to be having church. We appreciate that message, Chris. Got to check my phone quicker, don't I? No other messages there. All right, as we go back to radar. Charlene, how are you? Glad to see you up and at 'em there. Corey is joining us. Happy Father's Day. Glad to see you also. Charlene Etheridge joining us. The cab is rumbling. Whew, boy. Carolyn McKee also with us this morning as well. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all joining in as we do this. All right, let's go back over here. Now, the watch box, they're narrowing this down as we look at this in Kemper County. And I don't see this making it to 745. I think the threat has now just weaned off, and they just haven't canceled this, is what's going on here in Kemper County. And as you go into the Macon area, this is, as we've looked at radar together for quite some time, this is moderate. They're still going to, for cautionary reasons, they haven't lifted it yet, and that line has moved. If you'll look at that closer to the Macon area, east of DeKalb is what we're looking at. Let's see how close this line is to Townsend. This is going to be right at Sickanotchee Hill. Right here is where this line is. Goes down and then right there at Porterville. And back over. Again, this is not as nasty as it could be. Anything can fire up, but this is not near what we had earlier. So the threat is starting to move off. We still got heavy showers there in Kemper County, raining cats and dogs, as the old saying goes. Jessica tells us there, Old Jackson Road, 495, rain loud and thunder, lightning show. I respect that lightning. That stuff scares me. I don't know if y'all remember, they had an article this week in the news about the young lady, and it was two other people that died that were actually at the White House, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. A lightning strike hit, killed two people, and she lived. And she's been telling her story of her recovery. We had a young lady not long ago that was struck in the House, Mississippi area. And she sent me pictures of what it did to her. I have just never, wow. She's a walking miracle. Joe Gully, how are you this morning? James Carter joining us. Causeyville, some light rain in those areas. Again, we're going to call this threat is moving out of the area. We've still got heavy rains here. We're going to be here watching this throughout the day to let you know what happens should we start to have any more warnings. We'll go back with this as a recap of what we got everywhere. Lauderdale County, heavy rain is what we've got. No severe weather at this point, but it is heavy, that rain where you can't see the road. A lot of people traveling for Father's Day. We can't urge you today. We are under a level 3 if you're just joining us. I know there's a few more people that have joined since we started today. And let me see if I still got this pulled up. I wanted to, let's look back at this. If you're just joining us, this is the level 3 of what we got today. We're going to have multiple rounds of severe weather. And that level 3 is a pretty good one, enhanced risk. Damaging wind gusts 70 miles an hour. Tornadoes can't be ruled out. And large hail, up to tennis ball size hail, is what we're expecting today. Well, I didn't get that shirt worked out, did I? It was the fastest thing I could find at the last moment. As we pull radar back up here and go back and pull it up to where you can see what's going on, as you'll see the different shades here. East of Macon, this is going to be making its way on across here. Mahana Bridge area, all of that heavy rain. Now, we got that canceled out, and they just canceled it, as we figured they would. That has been canceled now, the severe thunderstorm warning. Let me just do a refresh here to make sure I'm correct on all that, but I don't see the watch box anymore on that. Let's see here. Turn that off where you can see that. Kemper County, these areas, that has canceled. But the Alabama side of this still there. So we've got moderate rain. We were right on what we were thinking on that. It's moved here. As we get reports, let's see, All that's been canceled for Kemper, Lowndes, Noxubee. Reports of hail, golf ball size, in the Gallman area. This is going to be Copiah County, Mississippi. Seeing what else the National Weather Service has to tell us. That's the worst that we've seen there. All right, that's the latest. We just have heavy rains in Kemper and a little bit on the eastern side of Noxubee. Moderate to heavy in Lauderdale and Newton counties and eastern Clark County. We're watching all of these different areas, and should the weather turn back bad again, we'll come back live to walk y'all through all of this. And again, a happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. And if you're watching, if your dad is still with us, make sure to call him. Say hello to him. Let him know that you love him. All that good stuff. It is Father's Day 2023, June 18th. This year is flying. We're all going to be another year older before we know what's happened. We'll be back. We're behind the scenes watching weather carefully for you throughout the day here at the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.